Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Sim, thank you so much for us, Naya. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I am seeing videos of farmers like world, all of them in United States crying, screaming that their life is all shattered, it's all finished for them and all that. What do you expect when this was what you voted for? I hate to tell you that black people told you, but I am still going to say it again anyways. Black people told you people. The fact that you all thought that you were immune, that some certain things wasn't going to happen to you. Now, how far? I hope you all are enjoying the fruit of your labor because at this point in time, it is hitting you people back and forth. This is what you subscribe for, and you are saying it. How do you think that this man will come out and help you people in situations like this when he is looking for a way to go to war, when he is looking for people to deport? He is still deporting. So it means you guys are not getting anything. You have to sort it out. And have you guys really sat down for once and asked yourself, how come we've been the ones screaming all this while? Like, we need help. Government should come and help us. But I have not seen black farmers coming out to scream. Does it mean it's not affecting them? I am sure it's affecting them, but that handout is something they never had. That grace is something that privilege is something they never had. But you all are opportune to come out on camera to tell us that it is all done for you. It is all finished for you. Why this was what you voted for. You voted because you thought it wasn't going to affect you, but now it is whooping your butt back and forth. Let's get into this.
FAFO is still going strong, y'all. I live in Arkansas, an agricultural, very red, full-on MAGA state. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is our governor, and the state has gone to the felon-in-chief every time he has run for president. But racism is hella expensive, as white Arkansas farmers are now finding out. They are reaping what they have sown, pun intended.
Well, good evening to you. We begin tonight with hundreds of struggling Arkansas farmers pleading for emergency federal funding amid a farm economy crisis.
Channel 7.
Oh, so they're asking for handouts.
Farmers and federal officials
okay.
Today in Brooklyn in northeast Arkansas and has more tonight. Andrew.
Almost everything that could go wrong for Arkansas farmers did go wrong this year. And it's so bad that many are facing bankruptcy or even the closure of farms that have been passed down for generations. A dismal global market and plunging commodity prices mean there's little to no hope of breaking even for many farmers, even as sky-high input costs rise because of inflation and now tariffs. Not to mention bad weather earlier in the year.
This time last year, the rice price was about 40% higher than it is now. The inputs costs have gone up, so after a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
Though President Trump's big, beautiful bill provided a much-needed update to safety net subsidies for farmers, they won't see those federal dollars until late next year, by which time some have projected that as many as 1/4 or even 1/3 of Arkansas farmers will face bankruptcy or be forced to leave the business amid the crisis the American ag economy
oh, well.
is in. It's already taken its toll this year.
Decision farmers report, and we make a decision to go out each year. Spring. So my son will not be subject to additional requirement.
5 of my customers have committed suicide. That's how serious that this is.
Today, Arkansas farmers gathered to share their struggles with staffers from the state's congressional delegation, pleading for Arkansas lawmakers on Capitol Hill and the governor to convince President Trump to provide emergency funding to help them make it to next year.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Right now to make it through this year.
If there's no emergency funding this year, there will be 1 out of 3 farmers will file bankruptcy.
Couple of things I want to point out about that story. First of all, if you notice in that meeting, all the farmers were white. Arkansas does have black farmers, but like black farmers in this nation historically, they were denied much of the government assistance that white farmers have enjoyed and have grown rich off of for generations. So black farms, even though they too are being affected by the economy, have had to become over the years much more self-sufficient and reliant on their community. Another thing I want to point out is that Arkansas farmers were also part of that class action lawsuit that was filed by white farmers from all across the nation because they objected to the government offering a $4 billion stimulus package to black farmers and farmers of color to help them in 2021. And the basis for their lawsuit, they claimed that helping black farmers and farmers of color was unconstitutional and reverse discrimination. These folks are getting exactly what they voted for due to their racism and bigotry. And I am so glad for it. And I do hope that each and every one of them files bankruptcy, have to sell all or most of their land for pennies on the dollar, and I hope that black farmers are able to swoop in and purchase up much of that land. This is their just desserts. I love this comment. You are absolutely correct. What white Arkansas farmers and farmers across this country are doing is they're asking for welfare. They're asking for a handout from the federal government. But language and terminology is often racialized and weaponized in the United States of America. Because in the reporting, it's not called welfare and handouts. It's called subsidies, aid, and assistance. But whenever black Americans ask the federal government for help, or when programs are designed to help black American communities, it's called welfare and handouts. See the difference? Same thing, different terminology, different language used. But that's what's going on with not only white farmers in Arkansas, but all across the nation. Because, see, they grew rich and fat, many of those farms for generations, receiving loans and other forms of welfare from the federal government. And someone said we shouldn't wish for the downfall of these farms because how will we get our food? What many people in this nation fail to understand is that most of the food that we get from supermarkets and grocery stores are from large corporate farms already. And many of them are going to grow larger when these folks declare bankruptcy. That was part of the plan in Project 2025. That these white people, blinded by their racism and bigotry, decided to ignore and vote against their own best interest. And now they are facing the consequences of their vote and their racism. And I love it for them. Remember, you're not seeing black farmers on television wringing their hands and crying to the government to please help us. If we don't get emergency aid, welfare, then we won't be able to stay in business. We won't be able to pass down our farmland to the next generation. Good. Declare bankruptcy because it is obvious that you don't know how to run a business. You were just being dependent on all of the handouts that you had been receiving from the federal government for years. That black farmers, because of racism, were denied. And black farmers, yes, they're being affected by what's going on, but many of them have been forced to become more self-reliant and sufficient. Gotta love it for the white farmers. Karma may take a while. Oh, but when she comes around, she does not play. I love this.
I'm getting real exhausted by the typical farmer in this country. Right off the bat, more than a third of them already get government subsidies. They already get government handouts to help them offset their fucking farm wages. 2/3 of them voted for Trump, and now they're all crying because they're going to lose their family farms. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I hope everything you have burns down, and I hope your entire lineage looks at you like the fucking moron that you are. You literally voted to have your own hands cut off in the town square and have everyone laugh at you. And now that it's happening to you, you've got your metaphorical now missing hands in the air going, but guys, why is this happening to me? I made a video about the Nebraska situation about a month ago, and now apparently here a month later, it's so much worse than anyone could imagine. And I need these people to not be bailed out. I need them to not be bailed out because they will never learn until they lose everything. They need to be shamed in public. Everyone that knows them needs to look them in the face every time they see them and not say, oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Say, you did this to your fucking self. You are a moron and you deserve everything that's happening to you right now. Because we are going to come in, these farmers are going to get fucking bailed out. I know it. They are going to get bailed out and they will never learn a lesson. They tried to set their own house on fire because they didn't like the fact that brown people are in this country and that trans people existed. And then they lost all their farm workers. Oh my God, guys, I can't believe this would have happened to me. Oh, you mean the thing that literally everyone smarter than you told you that was going to happen? But God forbid someone with a D next to their name or someone that identifies as a liberal tells you anything because you're such a fucking super genius, you goddamn morons. You went into your own dining room and took a massive shit and then threw your hands up and you went, how did the table get so dirty? You fucking nincompoop moron assholes. You deserve everything that happens to you. And good God, if I believed in a higher power, I would be praying that you get no handout ever again and everything you've worked so hard for burns up in your face. Because otherwise you are never ever going to learn. And even if you do get the lesson, you're probably still not going to learn. So at the end of the day, I just need the satisfaction of knowing that you're in pain because of your own choices. Can I just have that? It would be Christmas early if I could just have that.
Mr. Trump, Mr. President, help us out. It's been almost 6 months and you still ain't bringing gas prices down, Trump. Why? But promises you made, promises you're not keeping. Yes, Trump, please hear our cry. I've supported you 3 times. I voted 3 times in 3, 6, 9 years, Trump. Gas is higher now than it was when Joe Biden was in office, Mr. President.
My advice to you is to take that hat off, walk into the convenience store that is right next to you, grab a box of matches, grab a thing of lighter fluid. You're going to need extra lighter fluid because that hat is from China, so it's probably covered in fire retardant. You're going to find your nearest burn barrel. You're going to take the hat off, throw it into the burn barrel, cover it in lighter fluid, strike a match, watch it burn, because, buddy, you've been lied to. I don't know how many times that we have to tell you this. The economy, inflation, it's influenced by a nuance of things, most of which are out of the president's control. But the one thing that you can do to make it worse for everyone here is blanket tariffs. That is what Donald Trump ran on. That is what you voted for. The price of everything is increasing as a result of it. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we had the lowest jobs growth in history. You can't even call it a growth. We're at a job loss at this point, man, since like 2009, 2010. This is because of the tariffs and you voted for it. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us. Harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field.
This is what happens when a bunch of entitled, MAGA voting Americans stand on a box and push isolationist policy, like tariffs. You guys said that all the other countries will be affected by these tariffs, but we as Americans are untouchable. Let's isolate America. We don't need any other countries. Let's put America first. Well, the soybean farmers who overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump fucked around and found out that that just isn't the case for them. Most of their soybean crops are bought by China because America does not consume that many soybeans. They rely on China to buy the soybean crops. China earlier this year came out and said, ew, we don't want your soybean crops. You can sell them to someone else because we're going to go to Argentina to get ours. That's exactly what they did. And like you just heard the soybean farmer say, they have nothing on the books. They have nobody to buy their soybean crops, and they are SOL for it. I don't know, maybe you should have put America first and grown corn. You should have switched to corn, I guess. You chose to grow soybeans, which, just quite simply, I guess, is not putting America first. You should have chosen potatoes. If you wanted to go full isolationist and vote for a man who wanted to isolate us and, like, throw away our relationships with foreign nations, that's what you chose. And now no one wants to buy your crops. Crops that you grew knowing that they needed to be exported, yet voted for Trump anyways. Classic. My name is Mercedes Chandler. I don't feel bad for you guys. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
It's Joe from Georgia. So another state is in the news about collapsing their farming industry, and it's the great state of Arkansas. They held meetings in Arkansas this week with the farmers because of the dire situations that they are in, because folks, they're not being able to sell their products. They have money in the ground, but they can't get any money out because the United States government, which had guaranteed them certain things, were lost in the big beautiful bill. Well, in these meetings, it has been said that if an emergency bailout, which is what the farmers are asking for, folks, they're asking for a bailout in Arkansas, that 1/3 of them will file bankruptcy. Hundreds of millions of dollars going into bankruptcy. So you're going to have these people who generational wealth will be totally wiped off the map in the state of Arkansas. But here we go again, another state that overwhelmingly supported the president in his race. And believe it or not, there are still 70% of those farmers will say they believe in the tariffs that are putting them into bankruptcy. Folks, when those type of things are happening in your life, you've got to ask yourself, would I have thought this way 10 years ago? And I'm going to say pretty easy, the answer is no. You're not going to worship the thing that's bankrupting you.
Old MacDonald had a farm. Arkansas farmers, let's talk about it. Arkansas farmers launched the SOS signal this week, stating that they are in dire need of financial assistance from the government. There was a recent study conducted by the University of Arkansas, and in that study, it stated that 1 in 3 Arkansas farmers are in jeopardy of losing their farms this year if they do not receive a financial bailout. Arkansas farmers are stating that due to the soaring cost of goods, as well as starting to feel the effects of the tariffs, their farms are in jeopardy of going under. In an article that I was reading in Yahoo Finance, a gentleman got on there and said that he was a 6th-generation farmer, and this year he has decided to throw in the towel, and that his son, who would have been a 7th-generational farmer, will not inherit the farm because he has to sell. He cannot compete with the soaring costs of the economy. And the ironic thing that I read in the same article was that many farmers, I think it was about 70% of farmers, were in favor of the tariffs. Many believe that the long-term benefits of the tariff will help them out. However, right now, they're struggling and they need some funds. So there is a safety net clause in the big beautiful bill that just passed, giving farmers access to financial assistance if they're in need of it. However, those funds are not available until 2026. Now, there are people out there opposing farmers getting an emergency bailout. Those opponents who are against giving farmers this emergency bailout cite things such as the student loan crisis, meaning when the average American, let's just say Mary Sue down the street, is drowning in student loan debt, that person would not be eligible, or there are no bailouts or funds ever available to him or her in those situations. So why is it that when farmers who are businesses or corporations or the car industry or whatever need a bailout, they are quick to say that they want government assistance to help save them? However, when the average American is requesting a bailout, a financial bailout, or even with this emergency economy being the way it is with so many people laid off, how about extending unemployment insurance for those individuals who are in that situation as well?
This is all I got from this video, and there is some period. When it comes to white people, it is subsidy, but when it comes to my people, it is welfare. One thing I know for sure is I think I brought this kind of video on niacin, but I mean, recently a lot of people are still coming out to speak up on how badly their life is now. So I also decided to bring this because this is a different stage altogether. The reality is that all these things were the things Black people saw. I had to tell them that Black people told you, but it's true. They told you people, but you all never listen because your privilege will not let you listen. Your privilege will not let you learn because you think you have privilege, and for that reason, you are immune. Some things are not meant for you, but you can see how you all are crawling. This is what you began for. Nobody helped you. Nobody asked you. This is what you personally asked yourself that you wanted, and you got it. I am wishing every one of you luck with it because so far, you all have watched a lot of things go wrong. I don't even know how you people think that with everything going on presently, that this man will come out and help. It will come out and listen to you. That man got no chills, and he is not going to listen to anybody. So you guys go sort yourselves out. Have you guys ever asked yourself, how come Black farmers are not crying? Have you guys really sat down and asked yourself, how come all this while we've been screaming, we've been shouting, but we've not seen Black farmers coming out to say that their life is finished, they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't do that, because that handout is something, you all will always say that we are asking for handouts. No. That handout is something Black people never had. That privilege is something Black people never had. That grace is something Black people never had. But they are still existing. That doesn't mean that it's not bad for them, because like you can see, it's bad for everybody. But they know their onion. They know how tough it's been for them. So this is real powerful. F around and find out. It is hitting you guys back and forth. Now I see crops damaged. Berries all dried up, nobody to pick them. Things are harder than it was. So how far? You all said the other woman she cannot do anything, that it was this man that would save your life. I hope you are saved at this point in time. I hope your life is going great. I hope you feel good. I hope everything about you is awesome, because this is what you wanted. You got it. Enjoy it. Bye for now.